Hey, so 12 mini, it's been a while. Does the battery last? Okay, this has to be the most consistent one, and the answer to that is it totally depends. No, really, if you're rocking an iPhone 7 currently, you'll be fine with the 12 mini. But if you're coming from the fairly recent model like the 11 or the 10R, the battery life is noticeably worse. Like if you barely made it to the end of the day with the 11, you won't with the 12 mini. Now my screen time is about 4 hours and I can go through most days without having to charge. But if I'm doing something intensive on it or just forget to top it up in the morning, it does give up on me before the end of the day. So does the battery last? I think mostly yes. How comfortable it is. Okay, one word, very. You can't quite reach all 4 corners with ease, but it's a lot more manageable than any other phone, and it's got the perfect amount of heft, so it's not too light or too heavy. One-handed is a breeze, and pocketability is high. Like it's a phone in a long time that I can leave in my pocket and not be bogged down by it, if you know what I mean. Now it still hurts my wrists, but only when I use it for extended periods. So yeah, the ergonomics are better than any other phone, but it's not quite perfect. Is it too small? Yes and no. Okay, this is going to be different for everybody, but when I first held the 12 mini, it almost felt unreal, almost like a toy. Yeah, but now when I look at other people's phone, I'm like, it's stupid how big that thing is. No kidding, the iPhone 7 now feels kind of big in the hand, and maybe I've got smaller hands, but the 12 mini fits like a glove. Yeah, what I want to say is that it's all relative and you'll adapt pretty quick. Is the display good enough? Yes, if you're talking quality, and no, if you're talking size. For real, the display is a lot smaller than the newer iPhone, and it's quite a difference going from 5.4 inches to 6.1 inches. Now it does feel more expansive than the 6, 7 or 8 series of iPhones, but the 12 mini is narrower than the iPhone 7, so videos and other media does kind of look small. The quality though is better with crisp text, better contrast and vibrant colors. So yeah, I think it's fine for a few YouTube videos or Instagram, but it's not a phone to get if you consume a lot of media on your phone. How's iOS on the smaller display? Perfect? Yeah, no, really, perfect. It never once felt that certain UI elements were out of place or crammed together on the smaller display. The only thing I could find was that some videos don't completely hide the notch. Like it's very minor, but I'm sure it didn't happen with my older phone. What about the speakers? They're tiny. They do get loud, but they're almost too shrill. Expect little to no bass, and they're technically stereo, but it's lacking overall. Is it faster? Again, depends where you're coming from. Like all recent iPhones have gotten pretty fast, and if you're not coming from like an old iPhone 7, you likely won't even notice the difference. So yeah, it's faster than older iPhones and will be faster for at least 3-4 years. Any issues that I faced? No, not really. How's the 12 mini versus iPhone 7? Nicer, a lot nicer. Even though it's smaller, the whole experience feels more expansive, but the software experience is more or less the same, and I think the iPhone 7 is still pretty usable. How's the 12 mini versus iPhone 11 or 10R? Already made a whole video about it, check it up here or in the description. Does it make me use my phone less? It did actually for the first few days, but then it didn't deter me from watching a ton of YouTube the next week. So I guess don't get this if you think it'll make you use your phone less. Do I regret getting the mini over the regular 12? Definitely not. All those big phones kind of look stupid to me, and now I'm more like, how did we even get this far? Is it worth the high price? I mean, since when iPhones are priced right? Now you could argue that smaller means cheaper, but really for tech, it's more like the opposite, and it's literally got everything from the regular 12. So if that's not overpriced, why is it failing 10? I mean, is it really? It's lesser than expected for Apple, for sure, but calling it a failure, that's a bit of a stretch. Would I recommend this to everyone? Definitely not. You don't buy this phone if it's going to be your only computer. Don't buy this if you're on your phone for like 6 hours a day or need an 18-hour battery life. And don't buy the iPhone 12 mini if you got big hands or you don't mind large phones. Then who is this for? Get the iPhone 12 mini if you really need a smaller phone and you don't mind paying a bunch of cash for it, or you got tiny hands with deeper pockets. Which color looks the best on mini? I mean, it's very subjective, but the lighter colors hide the fingerprints better and the darker ones blend with the front nicely. I think it would be white, black, green, red and blue. Okay, that was the last question, but if you have any, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you like more of this, and I'll see you then.